All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here. Good evening to everyone who's tuned into our live broadcast on YouTube around the country. I hope you're all warm like we are here in our auditorium. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you, as I said. After the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. Ask me anything. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, DuePoint's a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around for a very long time. We were founded in 1952, so we are nearly 70 years old. Played a fairly important role in developing the insurance industry in South Africa. That's Constantia's building in the background. As you can see, that's not our building, so they're just down the road here in Randburg from us. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. That is our financial services provider license number. That's very important. So you'll notice in our foyer above the water cooler, if you go onto our website, you'll see that we've got all our financial services board licenses on display. Those are our licenses to operate in the financial services market, and that should be a tick of credibility for us. Trust is fundamental in us proposing any partnership with you guys. So for me, it's very important that you trust the business we're going to be speaking about. You're welcome to go do as many background checks on us. Go Google us, see if we've been up to any mischief in the past. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. So you're welcome to go do whatever you need to do to make sure that you at least trust the company that we're speaking about. The managers and executives are these individuals up on screen. So the first three people that are ignoring these two people, those three people are registered chartered accountants, so they're probably talking about maths, numbers, plus, minus, those interesting things. Starting with Mr. Brendan Benfield. He's our senior executive. You would have seen him here this evening. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because for his entire life he's pretty much been entrenched in insurance because his father is a professor of insurance. His father started Clientele Life all those years ago. His father started the IFA. His father's been CEO of a number of insurance businesses in South Africa. And then Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They both became CAs, and together they founded a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD as we know it. And I think PMD is now the fourth biggest short-term insurer. They're not even 10 years old already. So they've got a lot of financial pedigree in the family. We're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Then we've got Tim and Stacey. They look after all the financial requirements in our business, which is fairly important because that's all the auditing, the accounting, and a lot of the regulatory stuff in our business. And then myself and Jane, we're the non-accountants. Jane is very experienced in network or referral marketing. And that is pretty important to our business because even though we're in financial services, our growth model, our marketing model is dependent on network marketing. That's the marketing model that we've adopted, and Jane brings that experience to our business. She's from the UK. She brings a lot of international experience to it. And then myself, I've been working in advertising for over 20 years. I ran my own agency for about 15 of those years. I operated very much in the financial sector. We did a lot of work for the big banks, particularly Investec, and then I exited that business and joined the team here at DuePoint. So that's a little bit of information on the senior staff here. We've obviously got our client service staff, we've got admin staff, but the mandate, the focus of staff here at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us in this endeavor. It's in our interest because we can only be profitable as a business if the people that we depend so much on to grow our business are being effective, are being profitable, are happy. And so we do everything to support you. And you are welcome to come speak to us at any time. We don't hide in our offices. It's very much a people business. We get involved with everyone that is putting effort here at DuePoint. Very quickly, we discuss kind of the circumstance that South Africans find themselves in. I don't spend too much time on the slide because it's very negative. And I know my audience here and watching on YouTube, you already know the problems that you have, right? You're here because you want to solve those problems. But very quickly, we see the economy. I heard horrible statistics the other day from a friend. He said our GDP is halved in the last 8 years. I didn't believe him. I said it's impossible that it's halved. And I went and double checked it. Our GDP. So as a country, the money, the production as a country that we were producing was double 8 years ago. That's like your household. Imagine your household halving its income. That's effectively what's happened to us as a country. It's had all these exacerbating effects. One of them is debt that South Africans are now struggling to get out of because inflation is so high and your salary is not keeping up with inflation. So you're never going to get on top of your finances if you're dependent on a salary. And really what this business is about creating opportunity to change all the circumstance that the majority of South Africans find themselves in, whether you're earning 5,000 Rand a month or whether you're earning 200,000 Rand a month. South Africans find themselves suddenly in a situation where they're not able to cope. And as a business, we saw the opportunity to create a system that does exactly that, creates an opportunity for South Africans to change their circumstance. And so a little more than 2 years ago, we launched the DuePoint system with a couple of aspirations in mind for the people that join us here at DuePoint. So it's not just about creating additional income. We've got these other aspirations. For me, I personally want to change people's mindsets around creating wealth, because our business really is about creating wealth. And wealth is not just making extra money, right? You can have someone earning 200,000 Rand a month, but he's got a bond on a 5-6 million Rand house, he's driving a Range Rover that he owes the bank money for, and he's probably more indebted than the money he's making, right? So wealth is actually about being on the right side of compound interest, not on the wrong side. If you are indebted, you're typically on the wrong side of compound interest. The bank is making money out of you. You want to start making money out of assets. And so one of the primary aspirations we have for people in this business is to get rid of their debt as quickly as possible. If you start creating recurring income with DuePoint, we don't want people automatically just to spend more money every month. We want people to get rid of their debt as quickly as possible, because that empowers you to create wealth. And you create wealth through the ownership of assets, right? Owning things that appreciate, investments, assets that appreciate. Because ultimately what this business is about, what you really want to do is not earn money, you want to be happier. The money is just a means to an end, right? To changing your circumstances and being happier. And so that's what we have in mind for people in this business. How does the DuePoint system work? Well, our guests here this evening, you have the opportunity to join DuePoint tonight. What happens is you actually enter into a contract with us. Don't worry, we don't lock you into the contract. You can cancel the contract at any time. Don't be afraid, they're going to lock me into a 1-year contract now. It's just a month-to-month contract. You can get out of any time, but once you join DuePoint, we refer to you as wealth engineers, because that's really what we're doing. And as wealth engineers, you have a single task, and that is to build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like on the next slide. But basically, it's you just connecting other people to DuePoint. That's all you have to do. There's no selling involved. It's you just telling other people about the business opportunity that exists at DuePoint. And if you are successful in that process and you get people to connect to DuePoint, they become wealth engineers and they take out one of our products, that process leads to a whole bunch of benefits for you. Number one, primarily being an additional income, right? An extra paycheck every month. That would be nice, but what's important is the nature of the income that we produce. So insurance companies, because of the assets of their books, we call it a book value that we develop in insurance companies, we create something called recurring income that you guys get to share in. Recurring income is the ability to make money off of an asset. So it's not like your salaries. Your salary is active income. It's not passive or recurring income. You have to work for your salary, right? Your time is your asset, and time is limited, right? You only have so many hours in a day, but an asset can be unlimited. You can do business in DuePoint in July 2018. That'll pay you at the end of this month, at the end of next month, at the end of the month after that, a year from now, 2 years from now, for work you did in July 2018. Right? And you get to share in that benefit. The power duplication. So what we've done is we've built the system with what we call leverage in mind. Leverage is the ability to leverage yourself or to duplicate yourself. Again, we are constrained by time. You only have so much time to afford DuePoint. You've all got day jobs, you might have families, you have all these other commitments, but what you're able to do is go out and find other people to collaborate with you. People that will do the same work you're doing, and you get to enjoy the benefit of the work they're doing, right? So you need to find good people bring them into your business. Because if you find 10 good people that are doing the same work as you, you've just multiplied yourself by 10, and your recurring income can increase tenfold because of that, right? So that's the leverage that we talk about in our business. Our business is flexi time. You can do this business any time of the day. I see people connecting other people at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, some at midnight, even 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning we've even seen, right? There's no limitation to when you can do this business. You only need a couple of minutes. Everything is online. The amount of money that we've invested in technology affords you the ability to build this business any time of the day, anywhere in the country. Okay? No constraints with regards to that. There's no startup capital, so we don't ask for registration fees, we don't have starter kits, we don't have boxes of product that you have to buy in this business, we don't ask you to invest 5,000 Rand or 20,000 Rand in this business. We've designed this business to have a low barrier to entry, right? It needs to be easy to get into the business, as opposed to get-rich-quick schemes. A get-rich-quick scheme is like a smash-and-grab system. A get-rich-quick scheme will say to you, put lots of money in, because you're going to make lots of money. So put in 20,000 Rand, right? The business is not like that. We've designed this business to be as low risk as possible. Why? One, because we have confidence in our system. We don't expect people to run away from the business, right? And we have a long-term outlook on this business. And long-term can only be built on trust and loyalty. And so we're happy to keep this business as low cost as possible. There's no qualifications or experience required, so I assume no one brought their CVs this evening. That's a great thing again, right? How often are we discriminated against because we don't have the experience required, we don't have the education required, we don't have this, we don't have that. In this business, we don't care about that. It's equal opportunity for everybody. What we only care about is work ethic, your ability, your standard of what hard work looks like to achieve something. That's all we're worried about here at DuePoint. You get to build an asset. Now, this is fairly important, and for me, it's probably the most important benefit on the slide, because it should say there, build an asset that you own, because that's a very important part to it. You have ownership over this channel of distribution that you're building. We call it legal tender, and it's treated like any other asset. That means that once you start building this channel of distribution that's paying you out a monthly return every month, it's not going to stop when you get to retirement. When you get to retirement, your boss is going to maybe have a little party for you, buy a cake, maybe you get a gold watch, and he's happy because next month he's not paying you a salary, right? His company costs are going to drop dramatically the day you walk out. And it's such a bizarre thing. You know, the more I think about retirement, I think, how ridiculous is it that when people get to 60 or 65, they're suddenly deemed to be invaluable to the business? I mean, the amount of experience people have that. My father's in his early 70s. He's still working. He works for a Chinese company in gold mining. He's a gold miner. And he's just signed a 20-year contract with his employer. And he's 70. The Chinese don't believe in retirement. It's quite a bizarre concept, right? This business, because it's an asset that you own, we're not going to retire you at 60 or 65 either. This business will keep paying you into your 60s, into your 70s, into your 80s. When are you going to stop working? Into your 90s? When do you plan on dying? Maybe 100? The business will carry on paying you into your hundreds. And when you die, like any other asset, it doesn't disappear. It gets seeded on to your beneficiaries. Who would like to pass wealth on to their children? They'll probably be about 70, right, when you pass the wealth on. But nonetheless, you'll be passing wealth on to your children, onto the next generation, instead of debt. Right? The majority of South Africans today pass debt on to the next generation. There's no selling involved in our business, so this might confuse some people. What do you mean there's no selling? What are we going to be doing at DuePoint? There's no selling involved. You don't have to sell our products. You don't really even have to know anything about our products. What you need to be doing is connecting people to the business opportunity. All you're going to be doing is referring people to an opportunity to make money. It is probably the number one commodity that exists in South Africa today, is the opportunity to make extra money. And that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be connecting those people to this business. And then I will do all the work. I will explain the whole business, the products. I'll do the training for free. Right? You just have to bring me those people. And so the nature of our products, because we have products, they are financial in nature, we'll see them now, means we don't have stock and distribution issues. Right? If you run a business that's got stock and product, you've got a lot of problems. You don't have to come here in a bakkie picking up milkshakes and vitamins and things to sell on the weekends, right? All of that disappears because IT now takes care of all of that. All the collections, the distribution of financial products, it all happens automatically in the cloud as such. And so we make the products as convenient as possible to operate within DuePoint. So what does a channel of distribution look like? It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer, you are a product owner, and you are now going to go out and start focusing on connecting other people. Right? And when you are successful in that process, you'll go speak to a whole bunch of people. Some will say no to you, some will say yes. But our success is built on the yeses, not the no's, right? And here in this example, we've got 5 people that have agreed to become wealth engineers. They've taken out one of our products, and this is where they start duplicating your behavior, right? The system's the same for everybody. And so those 5 people will go out and start connecting other people because it's in their interests. They also want to build a channel. They also want to create a return for themselves every single month. And so you have this growth that takes place automatically in your channel, whether you like it or not. So this is what a channel of distribution can look like after a certain amount of time. And we've got thousands of examples of channels that are way bigger than this. If we go to channels that started 2 years ago, thousands of people. We've got one lady, she joined the business. She had success in the first 3-4 months in the business, and then she disappeared. She quit for whatever reason. She was doing well. We invited her up onto stage to talk about the business. I think she was earning already 4,000 or 5,000 rand a month right in the beginning, and she left. Quit the business. And we brought up her channel the other day in a training session. She's got, I think, just over 7,000 people in her business, and she's completely unaware of it. Right? She walked away. Your channel will grow whether you like it or not, right? But you have to be active in the channel to be earning the returns, right? We don't reward or give anyone returns for leaving the business. Okay, so this is what a channel of distribution looks like. My warning to everybody, and there's 2 parts to the warning. One is some people have the fear that they have been invited to come consider a business that looks like a get-rich-quick scheme, right? That's probably a fear that you'll come across if you start connecting people. It's probably the biggest thing you've got to get over is to get people to trust the business that you're speaking about. We're not one of those get-rich-quick schemes. We are a 70-year-old insurance company that's listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We've got very reputable individuals involved in this business. We've invested a lot of money in this business. Things which get-rich-quick schemes don't do. They fly by nights typically. And at the same time, you can do a background check on us. You can look at our Financial Services Board licenses. You can go look at that. You can go to the FSCA's website and ask them for our licenses, and it'll pop up on their webpage, right? And at the same time, we don't promise people success quickly or easily because it doesn't exist. That does not exist. Brendan and myself had both had the opportunity to start businesses, some of which have failed and some of which have been successful. And if any of you have tried to start your own business, you will appreciate that starting a business is easy. Making a business successful is a whole nother story, right? And so our warning to people is do not expect to be successful or to build wealth quickly, because you can't. You can't do that. It's something that takes time. And if you're willing to take a little bit of time to start building wealth, to see that progress month on month, then this is the business for you. Okay. So that's our warning slide. On to our financial products. So we've got 4 financial products here at DuePoint. Their benefit is all financial in nature. Okay. And they're designed to be very straightforward. I know financial products can get quite complicated, but these have specifically been designed to be fairly straightforward and simplistic, but very valuable and quite innovative. So our first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. So this is the investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand every month, and 100 Rand will be invested into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam, right? So it just sits with Sanlam. We're not affiliated to Sanlam. We just house the investment there. You're going to be creating that 100 Rand investment every single month, and on top of that, we give you some personal accident cover. So there's a little bit of insurance with this investment to the value of 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you are killed in any form of accident while you have this product in place, we will pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. And you can draw the investment out at any stage because we don't have a notice period on the investment, right? So that's Access Wealth, the investment, 324 Rand every month. The second product is called Wealth Guard. Wealth Guard is strictly personal accident cover, so it's insurance only. It's going to cost you 249 Rand a month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover, right? What is personal accident cover? It is not life insurance. It's not funeral cover, right? This product does not cover people in the event of death through illness or natural causes. But the beauty, the innovative aspect of this product is that it's accessible to anyone. Anyone over the age of 18. It doesn't matter if you have cancer and you're 70 years old, you can take out this personal accident cover for yourself, and the premium remains the same, and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. Okay, so this is Wealth Guard, 249 Rand a month. The third product is called Family Wealth. Family Wealth is our funeral cover product. Right? It's a brand new product. I think it's been live since the beginning of the month. Yeah. So what's that? Almost 2 weeks now. It starts at 299 Rand a month, and you've got a couple of options with funeral cover. You can take out 20,000 Rand or 30,000 Rands worth of cover. The 20,000 Rand cover comes automatically with up to 5 family members under that cover. Or you can increase it up to 10 family members. It also gives you 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So if you owe someone like Edgar's 10,000 Rand, when you die, this product will pay Edgar's back. Right? And then no excluded preconditions. So that's a wonderful thing. Because again, this product doesn't discriminate against anybody. Right? You try to get life insurance and you tell your life insurer, oh, I've been having back pains for the last 5 years, and I'm 43 years old, and I've got cancer in my family. What's going to happen to your premium? Through the roof, right? Because you are a risk. This product doesn't discriminate. As long as you're over the age of 18, doesn't matter what pre-existing conditions you have, you can still take out this funeral cover. You can still get covered with up to 10 family members. It is an awesome product. You're not going to find a product like this in South Africa. And then our last product is called Wealth Points. Wealth Points tries to reduce your cost of living every month. Right? So you spend all this money every month on things. What this product does is we've gone to typical people or the typical companies that we think we spend money with every month, and we've negotiated discounts with those businesses that we pass on to our Wealth Points members. So for 299 Rand a month, you get to enjoy all the discounts we've negotiated with the list of partners there. So we've got data, we've got car manufacturers, we've got groceries, we've got online retailers, we've got restaurants, we've got hotels. Pretty much everything's covered, and we're always adding new partners to this product, so it's ever evolving. We are on the brink of announcing a brand new partner that's going to be awesome. So in the next month or so, we're going to be adding a new partner to this business just to make this product even better. So if you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is a great product. If you have any questions around the products, come speak to me. But you can find more information on our YouTube channel. If you want to go watch a 30-minute review on each product, that's on our YouTube channel. And then you'll know that product back to front. Briefly, this slide just explains how our business model works. So we often get the question, well, how does DuePoint pay all these wealth engineers money every month? If I do a quick calculation in my head, I don't know how you afford to do it. Or how do you take everybody to Mauritius every single year? So basically, what happens is traditional insurance companies and financial institutions spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising. DuePoint doesn't. Has anyone seen a DuePoint billboard outside of this building? Have you ever heard DuePoint on the radio, on TV? Right? Because we don't spend a cent on marketing. That is a massive line item for a lot of insurance companies. We take that portion of our budget and we pay it to our wealth engineers, to you guys, for doing the work in growing our business in South Africa's market. And so we don't need to spend the billions that the insurance industry typically spends every year. We can take that portion of our budget and we attribute it to the returns and the rewards program. And those are the two ways that you benefit. That's how we pay people in this business, through the returns and the rewards program. So the returns program is the primary way to benefit. That's that extra paycheck every single month. That's what you want to be focused on, right? You want to get that paycheck as big as possible, right? So it works like this. We pay out a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that you have in your channel, right? So remember this picture, the slide of the channel of distribution with all the dots on it. Imagine getting paid 27.50 Rand for every single dot you saw on the screen every month, because this business is recurring income. It's not once-off income, right? But it's dependent on where the channel, or on where the product lies in your channel. So remember the first 5 people in the example that you introduced on your first point. We call that your first point. you actually get paid double the 27 Rand 50. We pay for every product that you introduce to this business or person that you introduce with the product, we pay 55 Rand for every product every month going forward. And again, on the second point, when those people go out and do the same work you're doing, again, you get paid 55 Rand for every product on your second point every single month. And as your channel starts to grow, there you see to the third point, the multiplier then starts dropping again, right? And as your channel gets wider and wider and wider and wider, that multiplier drops steadily. By the 8th point, you're sitting at 4% to the 27 Rand 50, but we don't limit you there. That's why there's a little plus next to the 8, because you can grow your business way beyond 0.8. We've got channels already going beyond 0.30 in the space of 24 months. Right, you have the potential to earn as much money as you can here at DuePoint. There's no limitation on the size of your channel. There's no limitation on how much you can earn in as a return. The onus falls on your shoulders. How much time are you going to put into the business? How hard are you going to be? How persistent are you going to be in the business? That's up to you. The next question typically is, how quickly am I going to be wealthy? Or how quickly am I going to be rich? Or when will I be a millionaire at DuePoint? That's a pertinent question, right? So what we did was we built this path to success. It is a 5-year plan. If you came to DuePoint day one, this is what your journey at DuePoint could look like. But it's based on an assumption, a premise. The premise is that you can get 3 people to join your channel in the first month. And then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to introduce 2 people to the business. So it's 3 in July, 2 in August, 2 in September, 2 in October, and 2 people into perpetuity, right? If you can do that, within 6 months, you'll be earning about 2,500 Rand a month. That's the same as having 500,000 Rand in a bank account. Think about that quickly, right? Because I made this mistake. I looked at the 2,500 Rand as an advertiser, as a person in marketing. I thought, no one's going to get excited by 2,500 Rand a month after 6 months of work, right? Isn't that the default kind of reaction that you have? You think, oh, 2,500 Rand. The number better get bigger, otherwise I'm leaving the presentation. Don't worry, it'll get bigger. But the lesson that I learned here is the value of money. We make the mistake of looking at money from a consumer point of view. 2,500 Rand. What can 2,500 Rand buy me? Not much. But you can get 2,500 Rand to work for you and make you a lot more money. But it depends on your choice. Your choice. You have to not spend it. If you put it into your debt, it can save you a lot of money. And I know everybody is indebted, right? So the example that we have here is very appropriate, because here's someone with R1 million debt, a bond of R1 million. They owe the bank R1 million for property that they finance to the bank, right? On R1 million at prime plus 2, you're paying back the bank 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years. If you're 40 like me, you become a homeowner when you turn 60. As long as you haven't missed any payments or been retrenched in that 20-year period, right? But I joined DuePoint, and 6 months later, I'm earning 2,500 Rand, a little bit. I decide to pay my debt off faster instead of spend the money, right? So I put the 2,500 Rand into my bond. What's the net effect of that? Why is that such a great thing to do, pay my debt off sooner? Because this is what happens. You put an extra 20% into your bond, it'll reduce the bond term by nearly 50%. That doesn't make sense. I put in an extra 20%, I nearly reduce the bond by 50%. It'll save you nearly the full asset value. In that process, you will save nearly 1 million Rand in interest payments that you would have made to the bank. Little 2,500 Rand. After 12 months, you'll be earning 100,000, over 100,000 Rand annual recurring income. Imagine coming to our office and picking up a 100,000 Rand check every December. Oh, I fantasize about that. Right? I would actually want Brendan to write out the check for me, so I could, something tangible. Don't just transfer it into my bank account. Write the check out so I can show people, right? So I can feel rich. That's after 12 months. Remember, we are still doing 3 plus 2, 2 every month, 2 every month. At month 24, you're now suddenly closing on 30,000 Rand a month. Tell me when you stop believing me. There's going to be a number. Everyone's got a number. You think, oh no, he's talking rubbish. Right? We keep going. After 36 months, you're now close to 50,000 Rand a month. Everyone still with me? Mm-hmm. Keep going. After 48 months, you're close to 70,000 a month on top of your salary. I always ask people, what's the number where you tell your boss what you really think about them? Can you tell your boss what you really think about your boss? Huh? We're too scared to get fired in the position that we're in, right? So you can't say anything. But maybe when DuePoint's paying you enough, you can tell your boss what you really think about them. 5 years from today, you could be earning close to R1 million extra every single year. Recurring income, R1 million. Right? In the example, you had just over 80,000 a month. That's 960,000 Rand a year over and above your salary. Imagine picking up R1 million check once a year. Think about how your life changes when you start making extra money, a second paycheck. Now, you can argue with me and say this is an example. It's academic, it's theory, right? You can just keep going and the number will get to maybe, I don't know, R1 billion in 100 years' time, right? For example. And I won't argue with you. I'll say it's true, it is theory. It's very complicated. It's not a simple calculation that we made. We brought in all the negative aspects of people not working, people quitting, people not paying. That's all considered in this growth formula. But we've got people that are doing it. You can do less than 3 plus 2. You can do 0. You can also do more than 3 plus 2. That is a decision you have the freedom to make. That's not a decision I make for you. The 3 plus 2 is just an example. So we've got Tanashi. She joined 12 months ago. By her own admission, she's only done the business for 4 months. She's been up and down, trying to start her own business. Anyway, 12 months later, the value of her channel sitting at over 5,000 Rand a month. That's the equivalent of having R1 million in a bank account. If you had R1 million in a bank account, that would pay you out 5,000 Rand a month in interest. Look at the bottom number, 13 first pointers. That's the amount of people that she's introduced personally to the business. That's the work that she's done personally. 13 people in the business. It's translated to over 200 people in her business. The business is not based solely on your own efforts. It's very much dependent on that duplication, on the people that you bring into the business, right? Bring good people into the business. At the moment, a business is growing by 40 people a month on its own. On its own. Then we've got Kwena. She's joined 5 months ago. The value of her business sitting at already at over 6,000 a month. She's brought in 24 people on her first point. Her channel size is sitting on 145, right? So you can see the difference between Tanashi and Kwena. She's brought in more people and her channel's smaller. That's because her business is only 5 months. Whereas Tanashi's is 12 months. The people in her business were growing it without her there, right? This business is about time and numbers. You cannot get irritated after 3 months and impatient after 3 months. It's impossible. Nothing can change in anyone's life in the space of 3 months. Then we've got Mavuma, very outspoken gentleman. This joined 18 months ago. The value of his channel sitting at 14,000 Rand a month. He's personally brought in 18 people on his first point. But it's translated into nearly 1,000 products in his business. He's very close to rank 9. You'll see what rank 9 is all about. We have thousands of people joining this business every single month. Everyone is running a different race. Do not look at the slide. Don't look at it. Decide what you want out of this business. Right? Everyone's doing a different thing. Everybody. There are lots of people that do nothing. They join and they do nothing. That I don't even understand. Right? My brain can't connect to that concept. But you have the ability to choose what you want out of this business. The system, the opportunity is exactly the same for every single person. No one gets preferential treatment. I don't know anyone that joins the business. I don't. I look at the reports every day, and if you come onto the top of the report, then I go, who's this person? Earning so much, taking so much money from us. Right? And that's probably the first time that we meet each other, right? You get to decide what you want out of this business. It is important to make that decision. Don't just say, I want to be wealthy. I want to change my circumstance. Decide what that number is and when you want it by. Is it 10,000 Rand a month? After 6 months? After 12 months? Is it 2 years? What do you need in the next 3 months? Right? Decide what it is. So what is the decision? The decision, again, is not, do I want to be wealthy? Everyone wants to be wealthy. Everyone wants a 100,000 Rand check every year. Everyone wants a R1 million check. The decision that you need to make realistically and practically is, can you fit DuePoint into your life? This is not a hobby we're speaking about. It's not a New Year's resolution. It is a business opportunity, entrepreneurial opportunity. And you have to figure out how it's going to fit into your life, because I'm proposing to you that you sacrifice time. I want to take time away from your family, time away from relaxing, time away from watching TV. That's the time I want that you should be sacrificing for DuePoint, for your own benefit as well as ours as a business. So that for me is the decision. Joining is extremely simple. You can do it online. Jump onto our website, click on that big blue apply button. 7 minutes later, you're a wealth engineer. Right? Now you can start building your channel. So this evening, before 8 o'clock, you can start building your channel. Who's the first person you're going to call? Your mom or your dad? I'm telling you now, both of them are going to tell you no. The family, they all say no. My father said, that's a pyramid scheme. Right? So practice on the family first. Get used to rejection as well. That's quite a good asset to have in this business. But joining is very straightforward. Read our code of conduct. That tells you specifically what you're not allowed to do, and that's very important. Complete the online training. We've got plenty knowledge waiting for you on our YouTube channel. Set goals for yourself. Like I said, decide what you want out of this business and when you want it by. That's important, when you want it by. Keep yourself accountable to that number. It's the only way you can prepare a plan. If you come to me and say, Rob, I want 10,000 Rand a month after 12 months. Right? So this time next year, I want 10,000 Rand a month. I'll say to you, I know what that looks like. You need to be bringing 2 or 3 people a month to this business. And that's the number you have to keep yourself accountable to. If you say, no, I don't need that much. I only need to, if I get to 2,500 Rand after a year, I'm happy. I say, that's fine. Bring 1 or 2 people a month. Right? If you want more, if you want 30,000 Rand after a year, then I'm going to say to you, you're going to have to bring 6, 7, 8 people a month. Do you see? You have to have the goal to prepare the plan. And then the simple task of speaking to people. You cannot do this business if you're not prepared to speak to somebody every day. The pot of gold is there. The wall that you have to climb over says speak to people. Right? There is no way to get to the pot of gold unless you are willing to speak to people. And it's a good thing. You're connecting people to opportunity. Why be shy about that? Imagine in 10 years' time when you've introduced a bunch of people that are now going to Mauritius every single year and earning 50,000 Rand a month because you introduced those people to this business. What a gift. Right? Don't be scared to speak to people. It's what the business is all about. We've got merchandise. This is not a profit center for us. This is designed to empower you to build your channels more effectively and faster. Right? The merchandise is part of the credibility and trust picture. Sales, I know we say we don't do selling, but when you go to speak to anybody to propose anything to them, it's a form of trying to convince someone to look at something, right? Merchandise plays a big part of that. It creates credibility and trust when you're speaking to somebody. So consider getting the merchandise. For me, foremost is business cards. They might seem old-fashioned to some of us, right? But they work. Because when you sit down and you have a business card, people take you way more seriously. So consider getting the business cards. If you're outside of Joburg, you just order them. We'll send any of the merchandise anywhere in the country, right? So consider it. It's in our merchandise cabinet. The pricing's on the counter. The credit card machine's warmed up just for you. Facebook. We produce content daily for Facebook. If you want your finger on the pulse in this business, join the Facebook page. You'll know exactly what's going on here at DuePoint. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll tell you every time we load up a new video, testimonies, training. It tells you every time that camera gets turned on to broadcast around the entire country, which we do every single day except Sunday. And then finally, make sure that you download the mobile app. So it runs on Android and Apple devices. That mobile app tells you in real time what's happening in your business. Everything. To the goriest details. Your best friend whose debit order bounced, it'll even tell you that, right? Make sure you have the app. The app will tell you if you're making money while you're sleeping. You'll wake up in the morning, people will have joined your business that you don't even know while you went to bed early. Right? Download the app. It's a fundamental part of the business. A reminder that tomorrow is Third Degree Thursday, so it's an intro presentation with a bit of a creative spin on it, where Brendan addresses a lot of the questions people have around the business. Right? Maybe the questions some people are too scared to ask. A lot of the common questions that we know really well by this stage, and Brendan's going to address all of those. So if you've got people that you're trying to bring into the business that are asking those types of questions, this is the intro presentation you want to bring them to. So as a reminder, And you can hashtag any questions to us. So if you're on Twitter or Facebook, or you can email us, you just use the hashtag DuePoint3rd, and we will look at the questions that you send us. And then you can email. We don't have the email address here, but it's questions@DuePoint.net. You just email it to us there. All right, on to our rewards program. So the rewards program is the cherry on top. The cherry on top, it's the most tactile part of our business. We reward you with the success that you have here at DuePoint. We don't only pay you at the end of every month, but there are also rewards that you can earn here at DuePoint. So it starts like this. If you become a wealth engineer, you will start earning something called XP. It stands for experience points. And you get experience points for all kinds of things. Just coming to a presentation like this will give you experience points. If you bring guests with you, you get more XP. If you log into your app, you get XP. If you do home presentations, you get XP. There's a whole plethora of different things that earn you XP. And as you start earning and collecting more XP and your business starts to grow, there are rewards waiting for you. So to get to rank 1, because you'll start at rank 0, to get to rank 1, you need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. When you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1 in the rewards program, and you get an extra 55 Rand at the end of the month. What I say to people, you celebrate with that 55 Rand. You don't share the 55 Rand, you don't give it to your kids, you don't buy food for the family, you take yourself out, you buy a big slice of cake, and you celebrate getting to rank 1, right? You might be thinking I'm being facetious. I am a little bit, but there's an important lesson, because the people at rank 1 are doing exactly the same thing people at rank 20 are doing. And if you can get to rank 1, you've just proven to yourself you can get to any rank, because nothing changes between 1 and 20. Nothing. It's just about connecting people. Right? It is such an important milestone, getting to rank 1. Get there as quickly as you can. And as you start to rank up, the more XP you have, the bigger your channel gets. There are way bigger rewards waiting for you. There's a 50,000 Rand check. There are tools that we give to our wealth engineers. Fancy USB sticks, fancy business cards. These business cards. Oof, I don't even have these business cards. They cost us 12,500 Rand to manufacture 1 set. That's our cost. Actually, that's a cost for getting 2 sets done. So normally we say to a wealth engineer who's at rank 6, we say, we see you're going to become rank 7. We need to get 2 cards done, so we're going to get yours done too, right? Otherwise, for a single set, it costs us just over 20,000 Rand. So we try to do them in pairs, so the cost comes down a little bit. But we spend a fortune on these business cards. Why? Because it goes back to my point about credibility. When you have a 12,500 Rand business card and you sit down with someone at a table, you put a 12,500 Rand business card on the table, and you say, this is the business I want to speak about. It is 4 times thicker than the other card. There's no ink on the card. It's gilded in gold. The logo is foiled in gold. You make an impression, a credible impression. Such an important part of business. At rank 9, our first recurring reward. So this is a reward that happens every year. All the other ones are once off. You won't get business cards again. If you run out, you're going to have to buy. Hopefully you're making enough money that you can spend without a problem. But at rank 9, it's our first recurring reward. And it's one that includes your family specifically. We take your family, your spouse, your kids to a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip, business class flights, every single year for the rest of your life. So go take a look. We've documented our last trip. I want you to imagine yourself there with your family. You have to believe it before you can make it happen.
When all of your wind has gone and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sand where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
What an awesome achievement. Gets you excited, right? Anyone imagine their toes in the sand? You mustn't laugh at Pumi. She really thought those fish were going to eat her. So that's all of us on our last Rank 9 trip. Hopefully there'll be more people in the next 3 months when we go again. Every single year. Every single year. Your kids are not going to know what economy class feels like in the aeroplane. They're going to say, Mommy, who are the poor people squashed at the back of the aeroplane? Have you ever seen a 2-year-old sitting in business class? Hard to resent a 2-year-old sitting in business class, eh? So that's that. Rank 11, we spent R250,000 on a brand new car for our wealth engineers. Brand new car, paid off. What's the best car to have in South Africa? It's a paid off one. See, it was a trick question. A paid off one that's been paid by somebody else. That's the best car to drive around in South Africa, right? So that happens at rank 11. So that's an idea of what our rewards program looks like. It goes all the way up to actually rank 28. We've designed it. So we think people only start getting to rank 28 probably after about 25 years. So that's kind of the foresight that we have here at DuePoint. You are only just beginning. People have already got to rank 11 in the space of 2 years. Right? This is just you getting started. You might think you're rich when you get a free car, but I'm telling you, you're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. We have to decide what we're going to be doing for the rest of this year. I want people to, at least if you're in doubt about this business, take a swing. Take a swing. Give me 30 days. That's all I ask. If you're in doubt about this business, give me 30 days, but I want commitment in the next 30 days. I want you to speak to one person every single day. And I promise you, by the end of this month, you're going to be richer than you were last month. I guarantee it. If you can commit to that, I guarantee you'll be richer next month than you were last month. And that's the thing we need to do in life, is progression. Don't compare yourself to other people. It's easy to look at someone else who's richer than you and go, oh, that's what I want. Why don't I have that? I'm useless. Or blame this, blame that. If you can just focus on improvement from one day or 1 month to the next month, you will get there. And that's what we need to focus on. And that's what DuePoint is all about. It's about building an asset, a channel of distribution that can grow every single month, whether you like it or not. And that's what I invite you to come do this year. Is come take a stab, a swing at this business called DuePoint and see what it can do for you. I'm hoping it will change your life. But you have to do it. I can't do it. I wish I could give everyone a morning call. That's what I wish. Phone you in the morning. So what you doing today? Is your day job going to make you wealthy? No. Day job pays salary and bills. There's a place for salary and, right? Pays bills. We're talking about wealth in this business. I want people to be wealthy. The success in this business equates to wealthy. And that's what we're working on. And that's something you've got to do in the 10 minutes, the 5 minutes, weekends, in the evenings, lunchtime during work, before you go to work. It's the sacrifice required. If you have any questions, come speak to me. I hope everyone stays warm. I see our tennis player Anderson just beat Roger Federer at Wimbledon. Just beat him. So we can celebrate that. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. I'm glad you're here instead of watching the soccer. Right? And come speak to me if you need to. Thank you.